Welcome back to 5-Step Trading. So far I've shown you how to generate your own trading ideas and how to analyze companies and stock charts. We're now making real progress and you're almost ready to trade. But before you trade, you always need to make sure you are psychologically prepared. And that is what I want to discuss here in step 4 of 5-Step Trading. Of course, each of the 3 steps we have looked at so far is important, but it's relatively easy to do them in a calm and objective way. In practice though, trading is not exactly a calm experience. Stock markets are very volatile and you really have got to keep your eye on the ball and not get carried away. Trading is an emotional activity and if you fail to take account of that, then you will burn out very quickly. It's the mental game that ultimately determines who wins and who loses. This module will teach you the issues that are important to understand and how to strengthen and focus your mind to make the right trading choices.
In the first part of the module, we will look at human psychology and how that can affect your trading. We will also look at the skills that are important for good traders so you know what to focus on. In the second half, we will look at common trading mistakes and how to avoid them. Again, Steve Ward will be involved as he is the expert in this particular field.
Even after almost 20 years of trading for a living, I still find it psychologically very challenging. I'm not the only one though. During my trading career I have seen some people break down and cry in trading rooms. I have seen computer screens broken and phones smashed. The stress of losing money affects every single trader, no matter how much experience they have. To be successful, you have to control your emotions and not let them control you. For this you need to know yourself and understand your mental weaknesses and strengths. Let's now look at the skills you need to become a better trader.
Top sportsmen and high-performance traders have a lot in common. The demands of trading create stresses and pressures similar, if not greater, to those experienced by elite sports people. In both, you need to train, push yourself to the limit, be disciplined, and keep your eye on the prize.
Well, the psychology part was probably for me the most interesting aspect of the whole experience. To see strong, intelligent individuals come into work every day and as a direct result of their own actions experience every conceivable emotion is something that I don't think I will ever forget.
Being able to deal effectively with losses, errors and setbacks are common to both.
So my psychology started with discipline. I did the work, I set stop losses and then I stuck to them. I kept a diary of my trades. I wrote about how I felt when I lost and when I won. And if I kept losing, I had the discipline to have a long look at myself in the mirror and start the process of building my book over again, starting with my top-down view of the world. The market is never wrong, the market doesn't care, and the market has no memory. You can be wrong, and you will care if you're losing money. And lastly, you need to discipline yourself to make your memory work positively for you.
Good traders are mentally tough. They're able to bounce back from losses. There are 5 areas to address here. The first factor that will decide if you have the makeup of a good trader is your motivation. Why do you trade? If the only reason you trade is to make money, it probably won't work. If you want a shortcut to getting rich quickly, then trading is not it. Trading is more likely to make you poor than rich if money is your sole motivator. Having a general interest in financial markets and companies are a much better basis for long-term survival.
Are you self-confident in your abilities as a trader? Having the courage to follow your own convictions is vital to get through tough periods. This does not mean that you should be too stubborn, but you should believe in yourself.
I think that the optimism, my optimism, my understanding that this was a position that I was totally responsible for myself, and my own confidence in my own ability to be able to get me out of any sticky situation greatly aided the performance that I delivered in trading.
Trading also requires total focus. If you're busy doing other things, especially mentally, it becomes hard to be successful.
The complete understanding that I was totally responsible for the position that I was in, and nobody was going to come along and wave a magic wand and sort out any dire situation that I might find myself in. I needed to do that myself. So although if my portfolio was doing badly, was tanking, I might appear very withdrawn, actually I was very focused on, I need to sort this situation out. I don't like this experience, this absolute stomach churning experience of knowing that you're losing money. I need to get it sorted.
Composure is a crucial part of trading as well. If you tend to panic and get over-emotional, then trading might not be for you. To trade rationally, you have to control your mood swings. In the second part of step 4, we will discuss this in more detail.
I remember walking around the block when a particular trade was going the wrong way, simply to prevent myself crystallizing a big loss. Overall, it's very difficult to accept that the market is irrational because it often looks as if it's rational.
Trading is a painful occupation. You're often wrong, and if you're not able to bounce back and try again, it's not going to work.
It's something I knew already, but it takes balls to run winners and cut losers. Away from the pressure of having real money on, that sounds very obvious, but it's not.
I now recognise that I'm too emotional to be able to tough out difficult times from the trading viewpoint, though I think I'm okay during general market noise.
So mental toughness is determined by quite a few things. But don't worry if you don't have all of them yet. Most take time and experience to develop. Lex, they often say that to be good at trading, you have to overcome some basic instincts.
This is very true. When trading, you always vary between the states of fear and greed. When you make money, you get greedy and you want to make as much as possible as soon as possible. But when you lose money, you get scared and you're worried that you will lose all your money and that life will never be the same again.
So how do you deal with that?
Well, you have to learn and control your own emotions. And you have to be aware that in trading, this is an ongoing battle and you need to fight it every day.
What other issues do you think are worth mentioning?
The list is endless when you start talking about human psychology and trading. People tend to be overconfident about their own ability to make good decisions, which leads to badly thought out, hasty trades. Also, people have a tendency to put on consensus positions because it's our natural instinct to want to be part of the herd before thinking for ourselves. I think it all comes back to having a trading plan and sticking to it. That way you avoid 90% of the mistakes. Good traders have the ability to listen. Most people love to hear themselves talk. However, we are in the business of information gathering, so one should try and be focused on listening. The prize goes to the trader who makes the most money, not the one who talks the most.
So you mentioned that mental toughness and good listening skills are important. How about analytical skills to process all that information?
Yeah, definitely. Analytical ability is also very important. To go through the steps and process the information before making a decision takes rigorous discipline. You need to be efficient and you need to be fast. You can't waste time collecting lots of unnecessary information. More information isn't necessarily better information. In fact, too much can be as detrimental as too little.
You have to analyse in a way that separates fact from fiction?
Right. You have to focus on the facts, not the stories. Don't take information at face value. Know who's giving you information and why. Because you have to be able to sense it as soon as things don't add up.
I imagine you'd have to be mentally flexible to respond to the fast-moving financial markets.
Yeah, be flexible. Admit when you're wrong and cut your losses. But if you're convinced you're right, you have to be brave enough to be stubborn, at least for a while. Even if no one else agrees with your view or opinion on the market. Trading can be a lonely job.
How important is mental arithmetic?
It's important to some degree, as the market isn't going to stop while you check your calculations. But it can be practiced and improved quite quickly. And most traders I know use calculators anyway.
How do you cope with making mistakes?
Making mistakes is totally normal, as long as they are not fatal, and as long as you learn from them. Of course you don't want to make mistakes all the time, and that's why attention to detail is so important.
So what do you think is the biggest difference then between being a great trader and just being average?
I know a lot of people who are great at analyzing stocks, but they don't have the courage to pull the trigger until it's too late and the opportunity has gone. So I think that decisiveness and killer instinct are incredibly important, and I think that's what differentiates the great traders.
So even if you've got the best ideas, you've done your research and you've checked your charts, you still have to overcome your own weaknesses.
Yeah, it's very easy to underestimate the psychological difference between having an idea and actually acting on it. Knowing yourself is another key difference between making and losing money.
Let's recap the skills of good traders. They are mentally tough, they're able to listen, they can analyse, they realise when things don't add up. They are sometimes flexible and sometimes stubborn. They have an affinity with numbers, they are keen to keep learning, they are decisive and have killer instinct.
What is interesting is that nobody has all these attributes from birth. Make sure you try to be aware of them and focus on improving your weaker areas. A lot can be done through training. Going through the 5-step trading process in a routine manner will actually make you much better able to cope with your natural weaknesses. In the next part of this module, we'll look at common trading mistakes that will hurt you as a trader and how to overcome them. Let's get Steve's views.
You can compare trading to top sport, where we see professional footballers miss penalties, golf pros miss short putts, and tennis players hit double faults on crucial points. So it's no wonder that traders make mistakes as well. Let's find out what issues some traders encounter.
I'm not making any money at the moment, and I just can't sleep at night. I'm really tired during the day.
I think that the issue here is that you have to accept that trading's a cyclical business. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't, and that's actually pretty tough for most people to kind of deal with. It's really important to evaluate your trading and see why you're not making money. Is it a change in market conditions, or is it a change with your trading? Or has something changed in your life outside trading even? Now, if you're experiencing stress from not making money, and that's perfectly normal, it will be making you feel more tired. To help with this, look at your situation objectively and look after yourself physically. Additionally, it's also useful to find other things in life to engage in and provide some positivity. Now, it may sound, a bit of a cliche, but getting plenty of physical exercise and focusing your mind on other pursuits will help you relax, and that allows you to stop thinking about your trading so much. Find out when you can devote time to mind and body strengthening. Even if it's only 1 hour a week, then it's a start, and it begins to build a routine. Now, trust me, it may sound simple, but I've worked with a lot of traders, and this is normally really helps people cope better with the stress of trading, especially when they've been feeling totally drained.
Wish I was a faster decision maker. I just can't pull the trigger.
When people can't pull the trigger, it's because something within them is stopping them, and often we call this interference. More often than not, this is a feeling of anxiety or fear, and normally it's a fear of being wrong and losing money. Now, unfortunately, as a trader, you just have to accept that you will be wrong a lot and you will lose money. This is a fundamental belief that all successful traders have to embrace. I think you need to have a good trading plan and to trade small positions. Also, keep tight stops on your positions so you can't lose much money when things do go wrong. Commit to making a trade knowing that your risk is exceptionally small. Get in the habit of pulling the trigger. Now, you can also help to accelerate your progress by mentally rehearsing, imagining yourself taking trades. Now, what this does is it builds the neural pathways in the brain required to activate the behaviour in reality. When you start making money, your confidence will increase, and you'll be happy to trade more frequently and increase your position size.
When the market's volatile, I get stressed out. Just can't control my emotions.
Market volatility can trigger feelings of anxiety and stress in some traders, as the speed at which the market is moving and the speed at which money can be lost increases. The simplest thing to do in the short term is not to trade when the market becomes too volatile for you. Trading when you're stressed and emotional massively increases your risk levels, as your decision-making processes and trading skills become inhibited. If you want to learn to trade in these more volatile market conditions, then over time gradually expose yourself to increasingly more volatile conditions and with very small positions. It's a bit like learning to dive. If your 10-metre board scares you, then start on the pool side and get comfortable diving from there. Then move to the 1-metre springboard, then the 5-metre board, and finally go for the 10-metre board. Progression's key. If you should at any stage start to feel yourself getting too emotionally charged, then a really great in-the-moment technique that you can use is to put your hand to your chest and just really focus on your breathing. Try breathing in for a count of 5 and then out for a count of 5. Try this over and over, and you will see that the body-mind connection really does work. It always does.
The 5-step trading process works so well because it removes a lot of the emotion out of trading. Also, when trading is not going well, it helps you break down your trading to find out where you're actually going wrong. Is it your idea generation where you lack the ability to find original ideas? Or are you not spending enough time on getting to know the companies you invest in? Are you ignoring the charts? Or are you mentally not ready? Or is it your risk management? Once you understand the issues, you will know what to focus on to improve. This will really help you mentally cope with trading.
Making investment decisions in real life is so much harder than doing it on paper. The difference between making and losing money is often based on the decision one makes when the going gets really tough. This is what sets great traders apart. They make better decisions when under enormous pressure. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. If you can identify your mistakes, you can also fix them. In the first part of the module, we examined what makes a good trader. Unfortunately, most of us are lacking in one or more areas, and because it is so important, I now want to focus on some of the most common mistakes in trading and what to do about them. The first common mistake a lot of traders make is overtrading. This basically means putting on too many trades. This normally leads to emotional frustration, paying too much commission to brokers, and normally ends with large trading losses.
The cure for overtrading depends on why you're doing it in the first place. Only you can answer that. Most likely it'll be one of the following. If you trade because you see the stock market as a casino and you love placing a continuous stream of bets, then this describes you. It's a common beginner's mistake, and it will wipe you out. You will lose all your money before you know it. Maybe you're okay with that, as you might well have some fun on the way. However, if you want to stay in the game for the long term, following the 5-step trading method should slow you down and force you to think. If you overtrade because you're desperate to make money to pay for living expenses, for instance, my advice would be to stop trading completely. If you're under too much pressure, you'll probably end up losing whatever you have, and you will end up even worse off. If you overtrade out of boredom, then you need to realise that this is the life of a trader. Sometimes there are periods of excitement, but more often than not, there are long periods where nothing happens and you just have to watch the markets without trading. You should use quiet periods to do more reading and analysis. If you trade too frequently because you have no consistent strategy or trading plan, once again you may find it helpful to follow the 5-step trading method. It is great to be enthusiastic, but if it leads to overtrading, then the solution is to trade less and use this energy to learn additional skills, to read and go on courses. This is the best investment you can make. If you can't wait until the timing is right to put on your trades, it means that you execute your trades at prices that are worse than the ideal. This makes you look worse than you really are, and it will eat away at your self-confidence and maybe even stop you trading. To solve this, you have to put an emphasis on the right entry and exit points for your trades and stick to them. It's all about discipline. When you lose money, you often want to show the market that you will be the winner in the end. Unfortunately, you can't beat the market. It is not a single person or an enemy. This is all in your imagination. The market will be around forever, but if you trade for revenge, you will not. It's time for a rest. Take a holiday from trading and come back refreshed. Lots of people overtrade for different reasons and at different times. Just be aware of this and address the relevant issues.
Another typical trading mistake is overconfidence. Overconfidence usually follows a very profitable trade or a winning run. The symptoms are usually feeling invincible and trading larger and larger positions with less and less preparation.
If you suffer from this, then the only cure is to immediately stop trading until you feel humble again. Trust me, as soon as you feel you can beat the market will beat you. So just stop trading for a while.
Another mistake traders frequently make is having no discipline. The symptoms are usually an inconsistent approach and changing the plan as you go along.
You can't show discipline if you don't have a plan. The solution is to have a framework for trading and an execution strategy that you adhere to. Use the 5-step plan, and if you don't want to, use another plan, but please stick to it. If the plan is wrong, develop a better plan for your next trades. Or you might be one of those people who hates being subject to rules. It's fine if you don't want to play by other people's rules, but in that case, make sure you set your own rules and follow them. If you can't do it, then you'll lose a lot of money, and your undisciplined personality will have caused your failure. The choice is yours.
The next mistake is lack of composure. Life as a trader is hard, the world is a big place, and unforeseen events happen all the time. It's not easy to keep yourself together when things go wrong. The symptoms are usually some sort of panic, followed by an inevitably wrong decision.
Lack of composure is often based on a combination of inexperience, lack of preparation, and some emotional element. Experience will obviously come with time. Lack of preparation simply comes down to doing more work before you trade and working through possible what-if scenarios. There are obvious ones, such as trying to answer questions like, what would you do if your stock had a profit warning? But also more difficult ones, such as what would happen to your stock portfolio if war broke out in the Middle East. The more scenarios you think through, the more prepared you'll be for different eventualities, which will help you stay calm when they do materialise. Sometimes the solution is to take a walk for 10 minutes or try breathing exercises. Perhaps sit straight and do some meditation. Even the most seasoned traders go for a walk when all is going wrong, just to get fresh air and collect their thoughts. Steve also gave some tips on this earlier. Basically, do whatever you need to do to control the panic and become rational again. Having control over your emotions whilst under pressure is tough, but with practice, it does become a lot easier.
Another common mistake is for traders to take their profits really quickly, but not to get rid of their losing trades. This is the exact opposite of what you should be doing if you want to maximize profits. The outcome is usually a portfolio full of bad positions and a frustrated trader.
It is psychologically easier to close a winning trade and lock in a profit than to lock in a loss. The saying is, you can't go broke taking a profit, and this might be true. However, you can definitely go broke not cutting your losses quickly. To get over it requires having a stop loss in place when you trade and sticking to it. Easily said, but not easily done. However, using stop losses to minimize losses is essential if you want to make money trading.
Have you identified any of these common mistakes in your trading? If so, remember you're not alone. Everybody, including professional traders, make them. You want to be in the place where your decisions are well prepared, fluid and spot on. It's called the trading zone, and it's a very profitable state of mind.
This is what the zone feels like. 1. You'll be physically and mentally relaxed. 2. You will feel in control. 3. You will be calm. 4. You will be energized. 5. You will be positive. 6. You will be focused. 7. You will be confident. And 8. It will all feel effortless. If you're not yet in the trading zone, just review this module, train up and put it into practice. Control your mind and you can control your future.
So we've seen the difficulties of trading. It doesn't necessarily come naturally. That is because it is no more natural to be a top trader than to be an Olympian. Like a great athlete, you have got to train continuously. Make sure you keep improving and identify and learn from your mistakes. Everyone is different, but you are doing this course for yourself. So you alone are responsible. And that is maybe the biggest trait of great traders. They accept responsibility for their own mistakes and do not blame other people.
Every good trading plan includes building a great portfolio with only a few losing positions and lots of winners. This requires careful risk management and is the main topic of Step 5. We're almost done. And here is a quick reminder of some of the things you have learned in Step 4 of 5-step trading.
If the only reason you trade is to make money, it probably won't work. You have to accept that trading's a cyclical business. Sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't, and that's actually pretty tough for most people to kind of deal with. It's also useful to find other things in life to engage in and provide some positivity.
Well, you have to learn and control your own emotions. And you have to be aware that in trading, this is an ongoing battle, and you need to fight it every day.
Even the most seasoned traders go for a walk when all is going wrong, just to get fresh air and collect their thoughts. Control your mind and you can control your future. Next time in 5-Step Trading, we will discuss building a great portfolio with proper risk management.